Okay guys, welcome back, and we're on the studio mic now. Hopefully you can hear me. Anyway, so just a little bit more detail on the platforms and posting and how we actually do it and why. Right now here is a working document that I have. This is what I do for every piece of content that I have. As you can see here on my screen, we have all these different things here. A couple common questions that I usually get is, do you do this for every post? And the comment with that I like to tell people is, yes, I do this for every post. The second question that I usually get after people ask me if I do this for every platform and every piece of content is, the second most asked question is, do I need to do this? Now, the only way I can answer that question is no, you don't have to do anything. Do what you want to do. I do this for a couple of different reasons, and that goes along with sometimes the third question that I get is it worth it? And yes, I do think it is worth it. The reason why is because I'm playing big. I'm trying to get on as many platforms and get in as many eyeballs as I can. So therefore, that is why I do it. Like I said, you don't have to do it, but this is why I do it. And yes, for sure, I think it is more than worth it. So now that the disclaimer is out of the way, this is exactly what I do and why I do it, and I guess we can get started. So here we go. Okay, you guys, back to the working file. I will explain it to you. The working file, right, this bottom one here we'll start with is the text document. So this is any type of description that I want to use throughout these pieces of content. Like I said, these are all native, so it does vary a little bit, but that is just a Word document. Right below it here, or right next to it here on the bottom, I should say, that is an audio file that is going to be for the podcast. What I do is I just end up stripping the actual audio from my video, and that is what I'm using for an audio file. So moving on, you usually see about 4 to 5 different images that I'm using. It's everything from the first video that I usually take, just kind of a snapshot out of that, some type of a thumbnail, and then I create that into my YouTube thumbnail. And then I have a couple different images that I like to use for Instagram, and then also my YouTube cover art, so usually some words on there as well. I do use these in my blog. Moving on to the actual video files, you can see here there's a 2-minute one, there's a 10-minute one, a 15-minute video file, and then also my full file, which is where I kind of start everything and break it down from there. So that is kind of what I work with typically every piece of content. So once again, these are just the kind of the images that I like to use. Some of these are universal, or you can use for other ones. So for instance, Instagram is the same size that I like to use for the podcast, and so on and so forth. So some of this, like I said, is recycled for other platforms that allow the same things on it, but then all of them are modified to make sure that it's natively posted to each platform just the way they want it. Okay, we'll move on now. I'm not going to re-explain everything that I did previously on the whiteboard with that presentation. If you're looking for that, you can go back and look at that video or that part of the video again. Right now I'm just going to be moving on from that and show you just all the actual posting on the social media platforms, what I'm doing and why. So the first one that we're going to go to is YouTube, because that is our video host, as I said before. Right here is the full video that we upload. We use this to host, and then we blast this off to everywhere else. Along with YouTube, there is the text description that we're using out of our Word document. Like I said, every platform is different, so this is going to be changing. But right here we have the basic text description that we have, and then also we actually just direct everything back to our blog. So as you can see, that is here. I do have this, even though it's probably not necessary since it's easy to subscribe, but I do actually put a call to action in there to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Not necessary, I just do it now. And then one last thing that I want to show you, since we are into the actual YouTube video, if we just back out of that, you can see here is the actual YouTube thumbnail that I was using for that as well. So that comes in once I was showing you the working section. That was one of the images that you saw there. This is where I'm using that. So now on to Soundcloud. I'll show you guys what we're doing over there. Soundcloud, like we said, is just our platform that we're using to push out to all other audio platforms. And like I had mentioned before, there's going to be about 8 of them. that we're pushing out to. And when I say 8, I'm also including the at-home devices, so Google Home and Amazon Alexa. As you notice here, this is our podcast episode that is uploaded. We do have our actual image as well. If we click into this, it gets a little bit larger. Here's that same square image, a lot like the one that we're going to be using for Instagram as well. Now, some of these things, like I said, you can recycle. We have the same text description that we're using on YouTube for the most part, with a couple of changes, as you'll see. But we also do have the subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as a call to action to our website or our blog. And so one last thing that we kind of already touched on, but right here is where we are blasting out to all of the other 6 audio platforms. So those 6 audio platforms are going to be iTunes, that is Spotify, Google Podcast, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Those are our 6 audio platforms, and our 2 home platforms are Amazon Alexa and Google Home. Now, when we upload to SoundCloud, what we have to make sure we do is check this RSS feed. That is the same RSS feed that we had submitted to all 6 audio platforms and the 2 home platforms as well. That RSS feed, after applying, makes it so once we upload to SoundCloud, it pushes it out to all of those platforms automatically. Okay, as I mentioned, for the RSS feeds, this is all that we have to do is upload it to SoundCloud and it goes. So I do not have a Google Home device, but I do have an Amazon Alexa device. Let me turn her up and see what she says. Alexa, what's my news?
Anthony, here are the stories you haven't heard yet today. From Life Lessons with Anthony Mark Hendrickson.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Anthony Hendrickson. This is how I take my one piece of content between 5 minutes and 20 minutes, my weekly method of operation. Alexa, stop. So that's a little preview, and that is how easy it is. The RSS feed is going to feed it to all these platforms along with Amazon Alexa as well. So this is what you need to do, and honestly, after you get done applying and doing all that, it is much easier. You upload it once and it pushes to all these devices. So there we go. That is syndication to all podcast platforms just with our RSS feed. So that is done. Okay, moving on, we will go to LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn, as you can see, we have our actual activity here. Let me get a little bit closer, make it a little bit easier to find. But we have our actual video content, which is one that we need to do, and then we have actual, once you put in your link, it automatically pulls up another image. Or when I say link, when I say your URL to YouTube, it automatically comes up as an image or just like a video. And then the third one that we have is the actual video. So those are the 3 pieces of content that we have for LinkedIn that we're posting natively, all with a call to action back to our blog. So like I said, LinkedIn puts these special links in there, and it takes you, or it takes, although it looks different, it takes you exactly where you want to go, which is back to your blog. So moving on to Twitter. Twitter, what we have here is we have our 2 pieces of content. Again, we have our actual just still image or shot that we can tweet out. That way people know where to go. Have it with our same call to action. And then our second one is going to be just our post with our video post. So those are the two calls to action. We want both to go to the same place, which is back to our blog. Okay guys, moving on here, we'll just go over to Facebook. And Facebook, we have just the same thing that we've seen in the past. So you have your picture image or photo image, you have your same call to action, trying to bring everyone back to your blog. That is what we're doing with that. And then the next one that we have is also the video clip. So the video clip, full video clip on Facebook is what you want to do. Same call to action. With this one here is I just actually posted this twice just to get a couple more views on there. So you can see that again. But we're just using the same call to action that we always use, bring people back to our blog. That's how we want to get there. Facebook is basically just used for ads for me. I mingle very little on social or on Facebook these days as far as this. So most of this is all for ad spend. So once we move over to the fan page, that's where you're going to see a little bit more of that. We also, same thing over here, I do use more links on my fan page because, like I said, most of the time I'll just boost this. I just posted this before this video, so a lot of times I'll boost this and get it up right around 2,000 views for about $20. Do that on each post, and that builds your custom audience. I'd say right around 500 people per actual video or per post that you have. So this is just the photo post or image post, and then here is the actual video post, and these are the ones that I typically will boost, try to get it up right around 2,000 people or so. And like I said, Facebook I just primarily use as a platform for ads. So anything on here, if it doesn't look like it has a lot of traction behind it, it just either hasn't been boosted, or like these ones here, I probably just put up. So that's the big difference between your page and your profile. I'm not huge on either one of them, but you do need them for business. And the other thing that I want to note as far as for these videos and what we're using them for is we're setting these up, and I won't go into detail with it on this video. I'll do that on another video. But anytime you get anyone to watch 3 seconds of these videos, what that is you get them in an engagement audience, and then you can build that custom audience, which is the whole purpose behind these videos and why I post them. Not only do people reach out and ask for questions and ask what you're doing and why, because most people don't understand it, but then we do capture them in our custom audiences so we can retarget them later, more efficient and at a lower cost. Okay, and then moving on, we will go over to Instagram. Instagram is pretty straightforward. We have our picture image that we have. Instagram's all about lifestyle, so I have a lot of that on there. And then once we get into here, it's just the same thing too. We have the same type of verbiage as far as we want the call to action. Now, remember, Instagram's a little different. You can't put links in these call to actions, so it just has to be, you have to let them know to check the link in your bio. So if you want to double check that, it includes your hashtags and all that kind of good stuff on here. But once again, you just want to go back to your bio, and that is the only link that you can actually have for Instagram. So that is where we're going to deter people. So that's what I recommend for Instagram. Okay, moving on from Instagram, we will go to Pinterest, and Pinterest is a lot like the rest of these platforms. We have our one video that post that we have, and then we also have just a image or photo post. Now both of these we can click into them and we can find the same thing where they just have the actual video, they have the same call to action type thing that you want, but then actually Pinterest does let you put in a link so they can click right from here to your link. So that's the way they all are, that's how they work out, and it's kind of nice. It's a newer platform, so are new to me. I've just actually started to get into it. One other thing that I really like about Pinterest is the fact that it's a lot like Facebook. Once you have anyone clicking into your call to action or clicking onto your page or whatever, you can, after 3 seconds of that video, same deal, you actually have a custom audience that you can just capture right here along in Pinterest. So that's kind of something that's unique. Like I said, I'm new to it. I don't have many followers at all, as you will see. I only have a couple followers, but I have a 1K monthly viewer, and I haven't even been on this. I haven't been putting content on here for a month yet. It's only been a couple of weeks at the time that the recording of this video. So Pinterest, I feel, is extremely powerful and something I do recommend. So moving on to Tumblr. Okay, here we are on Tumblr, and Tumblr is a lot like the rest of these platforms as well. We do have our video clip, and with that, I do recommend, right now I've been doing 2-minute clips because it can take up to 10-minute clips, which I have noticed. But one thing that I have been finding out now is within, I think it's 24 or 48 hours max, they only let you upload 10 minutes of video, which is fine if you're only doing one video clip in 24 or 48 hours, but a lot of the times I'll be uploading numerous pieces of content within 24 to 48 hours. So what I've been doing is just sticking to 2-minute clips for video. That way, if you have more than 1 or 2, that you can actually get those on there. And then it's the same call to action where you're actually driving people to your blog on both of these as well. So at the end of the day, that's where we want them anyway. So 2 minutes is just fine. And up here, it's the same thing. Have just your video image or your photo, and then you have the same call to action to your blog. They allow some hashtags here, so I've been experimenting with those as well. So once again, driving all of our traffic back to our blog. So just now, that is our one piece of content. This piece of content here happened to be about 30 minutes long, but usually I do it anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes, and then we syndicate those to all platforms. And like I said, it is the same piece of content broke up in different ways. We're making it native, different lengths, different times, and different images along with the call to actions, but at the end of the day, we're bringing everyone back to our blog. Alright guys, then last but not least, we will just go right over to the actual blog, which looks like this. Now if you scroll down, this is where we're driving everyone. So we have our video, we have our image as well, and then we also keep scrolling down. Here is our summary that we have, our blog post with our short story, a little bit about you, and then at the very bottom over here is where I have my podcast episode, so you can listen to it right from here. Everything that we've been doing on the rest of them is all right here on our blog platform, which once again, that's where we're driving everyone. That's where we want to end up at the end of the day. That's where we're bringing all of our traffic, and we're doing the same thing here that we're doing on all of these different platforms. So, but once they're back at the blog, they can see the full story, they can see the short story, they can see all the other content that you have here for them. It's just a good spot for them to be. And then once again, we do have all of our different tags and pixels and everything else on our blog, so we can retarget to all these people again. So this is the strategy that I've been using. I call it the Octo Content. I started off with one piece of content over a week, splitting it up into 8 different platforms, and now it has evolved into this. So once again, thank you for coming. I hope you got some type of value out of this. If you want some more help on something like this, if it's something that you're interested in, I can show you how I do it. I can show you how I learned it, or part of it, kind of pieces and putting it together. Or if you want help, I'm more than willing to help you with it as well, whether if that's get started or do this for your company. So once again, this is Anthony Hendrickson. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is my kind of part 2 of this whole scenario between the whiteboard to now my computer. So hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like this, leave any type of comment. Those are always appreciated. If you're finding this on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button. That way, anytime that you see any of this, something like this, you are informed. And then also, if you are subscribed and if you're getting notified any type of the $5 ads, $10 ads that I'm running, we'll make sure and put it in front of you. Then once a week, I do open up my YouTube to all types of free content, things like that. It'd be thousands of dollars you'll be able to get for free. So feel free to consume those, but you need to be subscribed. So proud to see that algorithm. So once again, this is Anthony Hendrickson. Have a good day. See you on the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching or listening. I hope this content has helped you in some way. Maybe it motivated you, maybe it inspired you, maybe it actually triggered something in your head to make you get out of that rut or get out of your own way. Maybe it simply entertained you. I'm just an ex-service industry guy who, once I decided I didn't want to live in that fast-paced life anymore, decided to go my own way. I felt like I was out on an island. Everyone who I'd known for years suddenly wasn't around, and it was a whole new feeling. After spending tons of my savings, going into deeper debt, I realized that it was really time for a change, and there's something I needed to do about it. After being at a mental rock bottom, I decided that I had to pull myself up, do something different, and that's how I got into the world of marketing. Now, I've been almost 2 years removed from the corporate life, and I've never looked back. If you want to follow me on my journey, or connect later on or in the future, or even if you just want to follow me, You can either find me at my blog at anthonymarkhendrickson.com. Once again, that is anthonymarkhendrickson.com. Or if you're watching this video, you can click on the link below. Once again, I'm Anthony Hendrickson, and we'll see you on the inside. Okay, bye-bye.